Hello, my fellow phytomaniacs. I have a hard time saying that, but hi guys, how are you today? Anyway, I wanted to get this video started while I'm at home, but what I'm hoping to do is I am hoping to go to a grocery store and finding that flower, the orchid that I need to repot for you guys. And I'm hoping that I have success, and if I can record it while I'm there, I'm gonna do that, okay? And so if you're interested in seeing how to repot the orchid, please stay tuned. Okay guys, I have arrived at the grocery store and I am now walking through the garden area, or what I guess they call it floral in the grocery stores, and I am looking for the orchids. I see everything but the orchids, but I'm sure they do have them. And so let me go ahead and look. But wow, what a pretty flower. As you can tell, Valentine's Day is not that far. You know, cut flowers are beautiful, but I don't know. I just like things. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Wow, these things are huge. Yeah, I think I need something smaller than that. And these are pretty fancy too. So let me take a look and see if I can find one. And okay, that's more like it. The tiny one's here. But these are a little bit different. And these actually do accept, I guess, water or moisture more so readily than the standard Phalaenopsis. And so I'm going to continue to look for the Phalaenopsis, and then I will go ahead and buy it. So, but let's go ahead and look. And once I do find it, I will go ahead and take it home and start the repotting. Okay guys, my field trip was a success. So I did get this beautiful orchid, and I was trying to get something small, to be honest with you. But I wanted to get this one because they just received it and it's brand new. So you would think that, you know, it would be probably in the right soil, or the right, they don't go in soil, number one, right mix. But, you know, I noticed I need to rescue this poor thing. And, you know, it was $29.99 for this plant, which is quite expensive for a orchid at a grocery store. But this is one of the variegated types where they bred it to be, and this is not colored, this is variegated flowers. So this is their natural color, okay? And so what I want to do is I want to repot this, but I want to first off, I mean, as you notice, I haven't even opened it. You know, open it up and show you what I mean, why we need to repot these, okay? And so I'm just gonna go ahead and split it from the top because I'm not even gonna try to take it out in a proper way. And I noticed that there were many of these at the store, but the problem is they were all kind of like, they have good leaves, but the flowers are falling off, and they shouldn't be. These things should last. I mean, remember, one of my orchids, they lasted over 6 months, right? And nothing should fall off. But it just isn't the case with these when they're not taken care of or potted properly. And that's your first clue. When you start to lose flowers, or the buds are not actually producing, or I mean, not actually flowering, and they just kind of fall off as buds. Yeah, that's a clue right there that something just isn't right. So I'm gonna be really careful trying to open this up, but the plastic is just like falling apart here. But I wanna make sure I don't damage any of the leaves. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel it back. Usually this would just like come off like zoop, but of course, you know, yeah, it's me. The day that I can open things so easily, it's the body snatchers got me and replaced my body, or replaced me. So here it is. And let me just go ahead and put this aside because my cat will actually eat this, okay? Okay, so we have this, and they do come with the little care instructions, but I don't need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off easily and pull it aside. And it does say caring for your gemstone. It's called a gemstone, and this one is the pink moonstone variety. And they have this different varieties, as you can see, and different colors. And I was going back and forth between the pink and there's a whole lot more pink and purple, but you know, this was, I think, the best one. And as I told you, there are leaves that are already falling off the leaves of the flowers. It should be flowers. Okay, like right here. And this is just not normal for something this young, okay? And so I'll just go ahead and put this aside. And what does it say here? It's Westerleigh Orchid is pleased to present the gemstone collection. These magnificent blossoms in 9 radiant shades will enhance any decor scheme for up to 2 months. To create our dazzling rainbow hues, we infuse our Phalaenopsis, this is what they're called, Phalaenopsis orchids with a proprietary non-toxic formula. In time, the aquamarine, blue sapphire, lilac, okay, what they do is they feed the colors and it shows up in the flowers. So, okay, because these colors you really don't find in nature when it comes to flowers, you know, like in this type of orchid. So flowers, yes, not in orchids. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I do have my mix, and actually I typically make my own mix, but I wanted to give this company a try. The reason why is because I only have 3 orchids, and to make a mix and to buy big bags, it just wasn't making sense. And so I wanted to give this a try, and I did repot my other ones in this one. So it's this one is called repotme.com. I actually like getting the ones from, what is it called? Something Jacks. I can't remember now, but I'll put it below. And I like theirs a lot better. But this is a Phalaenopsis Monterey Dark Imperial Orchid Mix by Repot Me. It's quite expensive. And this is why I like the other brand, because it's the same thing. It's less expensive. And I think they use a little bit of a, you know, different material, and I like it a lot better. Okay, so let's see. This is the moment of truth. And how you lift this out is there's an inner container, and this is in there pretty good. Oh, here we go. And we pull it out. Already I can tell you I have to use another pot. I'm gonna have to go get the other one that's bigger, because as you notice, these should have little fenestrations, because these need air. And right now, I mean, it's sitting at the bottom. The only place where they get drainage is on the bottom. And so that's not good. And there's not much of a, let me see if I can tilt it. There's not much there to drain from. And that is really not good. And as you notice, these type of pots, you see the fenestration, these slices, and also look how well ventilated this is. And you need this for orchids. This is not gonna survive. Guaranteed this one will survive the way it is. So I thought this would be big enough, and I thought maybe this one will come decent and I could just repot it in its own container, but I don't think so. So let me go get it and I'll be right back. Okay, nothing like running up 3 floors. Hopefully I got everything I need. I do have these 2 different sizes. You notice I do have them different. I think it's gonna be this one. And you don't want to plant them in a pot that's too big either, okay? And so, unfortunately, I cannot use this pot because it's not fenestrated. And I could use this for other plants, though. And I have a feeling once I pull out all of this junk, I don't know how much damage there's gonna be in the roots already, and I will cut them away. So I have this here. I'm going to dump the stuff in here, and I'm gonna, hold on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and tilt this down. You're not gonna see my face, but you will see what I'm doing. Whoa, okay. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. And the first thing we wanna do is, let me see how sturdy this is. I'm gonna see if I can pull this out without having to pull the stakes out. I normally pull the stakes out, but this is a pretty long stem. So, and the easiest way, I can tell you, they didn't do a bad job as far as they do use bark on top, but I have a feeling it's not gonna be that way all the way through. Okay, I just already made a mess. And then so what you have to do is this is really hard. It's really easier if you have somebody helping you with this when it's like this. Yeah, and there's already roots coming through the bottom. So I wanna go ahead and do this as gently as possible because I want the flowers to continue to grow. And let's see. And this is so wet. You know, if it's bark all the way through, that's great, but this pot's not gonna help. And so let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and put the flowers like this over the table, so that way the flower's not touching the table, and I'm gonna have to get creative here. Oh, I see what it is. There's a stem that's caught on the bottom. Sometimes I will go ahead and, depending on how much is stuck in here, I will go ahead and cut the container, but no need. Okay, I just made a huge mess. I can already smell soil somehow. Let's see how this is. We want to go ahead and hold on to the sticks because, of course, this is not bad at all, but guess what? there's something here that I don't like. And they put, I'm gonna show you. Oh wow, why do they do this? This is so they don't have to water it. There's a sponge in here that they actually put so that way the water stays, and this is what kills them. The roots are perfect actually. Okay, look here. You see this plastic thing here? Okay, and there's a stick, you see? There's no room for things like this on the plants. So I'm gonna try not to break this because this is a good root right here, but it's like stuck. And then, you see, plastic. There's still a piece in there somewhere. And I'll show you what they did. Okay, here it is. These are sponge. This is a sponge. And it's eroding. The sponge is eroding. As you can see, look, it's a sponge. And this is like falling apart, but it is definitely a sponge. And this is what they put in here, so that way they don't have to water it as much. But my goodness, these are beautiful roots though. I'm glad I got to it. You see the white? This is so, I mean, this is just so beautiful. And the roots are in excellent condition. Had we left it like this for, a couple of days, it would start dying. And I try to remove these as much as possible without harming the roots. It doesn't look like I have to cut any of the roots away. And sometimes it may look dead, but you feel it. And if it's like chunky and kind of like it kicks back, that means it's not dead. This part is, as you notice, you see right here. This is dead, so I would trim that away. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove the spikes for now. Okay, because I don't want to poke my eyes out. And I can tell already by the way that the flowers are that they weren't gonna last. I'm hoping that the flowers don't actually start to erode on me, but I don't know. It is what it is, but at least the plant will be saved. But this has got a beautiful root system, like I said. And you see the white? That means that's very well alive. And it doesn't look like I have a whole lot of trimming to do. And if anything, I would trim this. And let's see. And I always clean these after I use them, and alcohol. So that way it's not contaminated. It's really important that you take care of your tools. And let's see, look at this. It's like wrapped around itself on the bark, and it's so sad. And if I had, let's see, if there was a hole in this here, it would have been perfect. But there isn't. So you want to make sure you get one that has a hole. And this actually would have been a perfect size, but look, I mean, there's no fenestration. They need to breathe. That's not enough. This is okay for a house plant, but not for orchids. I got a mess down there. Okay, and I'm going to try to like remove some of this. Now that I got off as much as I can without damaging the root system, I'm gonna go ahead and now rinse this off under the tap, and I'll be right back, okay? You see how they look, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay guys, I was able to wash it off about that much, and I don't want to continue to work on it too much because I don't want to hurt the roots, because this has beautiful root system. But as I was saying there, you have to cut away the dead things, and as I was working on it, I did notice a couple of places that I need to cut. And I just want to let you know, please, whatever you do, do not wet the leaves. If you do, you need to dry them right away, okay? And so there were a couple of places here where it was just hanging by a thread, okay? Like here, even though this is a good root here, if it's like hanging like by a thread like this, it's not gonna get nutrition, it's gonna die anyway. You wanna get rid of it as soon as possible. And this is still a good, okay, like here, hanging by a thread again. Okay, so, oops, sorry about that. So even though it looks like good root, you have to really look for it and make sure that they're not mushy. Anything mushy, cut it away. But you wanna try to save like nice roots like this. And unfortunately, there's a part, it's gonna die, because let me show you. You see like right here, it's like right there. It's already like disconnected itself. So there still seems to be a little bit of link. So I'm gonna see if that's gonna come back. But we'll see. The good thing is these leaves are really good. And so what we want to do is now, as you notice, this is a lot of root to put in here, even in this one. But let's see. Oh yeah, this will work. And what I'll do is, typically on these, let's see. Yeah, okay, there's enough. You notice these are primarily bark. And there are some, the one thing that you don't see in here that you will see in here is pumice, okay? And pumice, and you see, it's very important because this is what allows it to aerate. You need that in your mix. And you just put a little bit there. And as you notice, it's not just, you see that? There's difference, right? And so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put a little bit on the bottom. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the root back in here. And, you know, take care to, you know, the good thing is there is no external root yet. So as you notice, this is going to be pretty tricky. So I want to, and if you leave some of it out, it's okay, because these, I mean, you ever notice on an orchid, sometimes there's like, the roots are on the outside. These are pretty much air, yeah. And so I'm gonna go ahead and be very patient when you do this. I mean, it's gonna take a little bit. And another thing that's in here that I really like is clay, like a clay ball, and it allows it to kind of breathe. Let me see if I find one. There it is right there. And oops, hold on. Like this. This is a clay ball, but it's porous and it's very light. You see? Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and work this in. And like I said, it takes patience, and you have to work at it a little at a time. And just kind of like hold your plant and tap like this and move it around. And you want to make sure you have it nicely anchored. That's the most important thing. And you get it in there. There's no airspace. And so I'm gonna go ahead. Oops. Yep, bowl in the china shop. And I really don't like to get to a point where it's like all powder. Yeah, because then it becomes thick. And so of course I should have opened this first, but I didn't. Whoops. You saw that, how that sprung loose. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, not bad. Okay, got it. I'm gonna end up killing this poor thing. Actually, they're a lot more hardier than you would think. Okay. And the thing that kills them is not how you handle them. It's the water. That you get water in the leaves, so you get water, too much water trap. And so you just want to go ahead and continue to tap and just move it around. Okay. And you want to make sure there's no airspace. That's why I'm doing this. You don't want it to be like huge air spaces, because the roots do need something to, have for nutrition. Okay. All right. And I really like this mix because it is very chunky, but when you have a root system that's so crazy like this, it's a little tricky and it's gonna take time. And just going back and forth in different sides. And sometimes you have to manipulate it with your hands, and I usually end up getting it all over the place, and so I'm gonna have to vacuum afterwards. And you see the moss, it's very small pieces of it. I mean, they still need a way to absorb water. So, but look how small the piece is, and it's not like it's shoved into the, the center part of the plant. Okay, there we go. Make sure there is no air space. Okay. How is that? Is there any airspace? I'm just worried about the center here. Okay, yep. Must have been some space because now it's created some more space up top. And what I'll do now is, being that I won't water this today, but in a couple of days, I don't actually do it by a number of days. I watch the leaves. And if the leaves start to kind of looking a little bit of it, start to have wrinkles, that's when I know that they need to be watered. And I don't necessarily do that through, people count, oh, okay, it's 2 weeks, I got to do it. Well, no, because sometimes when you have a humid day or a humid week or whatever, and you're not going to need it. And then you have to make sure you stick these back on the poles, and you have to make sure that you try not to dig into the roots that's below, because you'll damage the roots. So you try to kind of like manipulate, kind of look around and look and see if I can work it around. Like I know for here, there's no roots there. And then just kind of listen for because you'll hear it when it hits, whoops, wrong way. when it hits something like a root. Like here, I'm hearing a root, but here I'm not. And I'm gonna go down, and sometimes I never get it perfectly, you know, the way it was, but that's okay. Okay, and I think I have one more somewhere here. Yeah, I do, right here. And so, all right, and this one, I think at this point you can like really start to manipulate it. If you want it to look the other way, then you just stick your pole away. But you know, try not to get too close. See, this one went down very easily, which means, you know, I'm not on any kind of root. And if it's too hard to force down, either you're on a bark or you're on a root, and when you listen and when you hear, that means you're on a root. So you have to be really careful. And so just kind of like shimmy it down like this. Okay, and I think, isn't there another one of these? No? Okay. Okay, so these two are too close together. Oh, here it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and separate it and turn it. Okay. That's okay. Let's see, do I like that, or do I want to move this one here? I think I do want to move this one here because it's crossing over each other. So let's go ahead and move this one. Maybe here? No, that'll be too far. See, this is the design part of it, you know? Oops, that's a root, I can see that. Okay, that's not. No, it's okay, I'll just leave it like that. The flowers, it might not have, they're kind of on top of each other, but it is what it is. And the top part of it is like doing Japanese ikebana, because look, now it's kind of like the flowers are separate like that, you see? But that's okay. I'm gonna leave it like this because my whole point was to rescue the plant, and here it is, you see? No air spaces. You wanted to make sure that there's no air space, and I like the fact that I can see through this container to the root, and if I see that there's problem with the root, I can take care of it right away. Same thing on the bottom, but take a look and you see how the mix ends up. Unlike the very chunky, just the bark, it's cheap to do it this way, guys. It's cheap to do it like this, so this is how they do it. There's no, I mean, and look at the other things that you need in there, actually. Look at the difference in a mix, okay? What do you think this is doing is like holding water, and we don't want that. Because you need the plant to drain, and drain well, because that's what kills the orchids. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you don't know how to care for them. If you don't know that to repot your orchids when you first get them, it's gonna die, okay? And so, that's it, my beautiful, oh, I almost said beautiful wildflowers. You guys are my beautiful wildflowers, but I gotta come up with something else. You guys need to help me out. Cindy did help me come up with the actual, well, she's the one who suggested, which is bloom where you planted. I love that. So hold on, let me move this up. Okay guys, we are finished. So take a look, and we have a healthy orchid on its way. So alrighty, and if you really enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you are not subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. And I will do more videos. And if you have any ideas, please put it below. And I'm getting ready to repot a couple of my other plants. And I forgot to wear my repotting shirt that was given to me by Glenna. Sorry, Glenna. I have to remember to do that. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, good night, good week, or good weekend, okay? And just remember, make sure to bloom where you're planted. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, again. I know, I'm Japanese, right? So, sayonara.